Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 629 for August 12th, 2026. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ham Nation. Yes, I am in a semi-remote location, and we're trying to do this live, so let's see how it all goes. We do have a very important announcement here in the midpoint of the show, so make sure you stick around for that. But let's say hi to our glorious hosts. How are you, hosts?
Doing good.
So far, the computer has not melted down, and the network is holding up. So let's keep going forward. Gordo, how you doing this week?
Gordo is fine. This weekend is the 10 gigahertz and higher contest sponsored by the American Radio Relay League. So if you see a whole bunch of hams on hills, not over the hill, but, well, maybe some over the hill, tell them keep up the great work because they're all the way up to over 100 gigahertz.
So one of my favorite horror movies is the Hills Have Eyes. Are you saying the hills will have hams this weekend, Gordo?
Yes, tall hills, hams talking 300 and 400 miles on just 1 watt, maybe more, of power from 10,000 megahertz and higher. Just amazing.
Love it. Randy, how you doing? You're looking well.
Thank you. Well, we're doing good here. It's cool. We had a little local fire the other day, but they got it out in a couple hours. So the smoke and all that's cleared, and it's been blowing like hell. So doing good.
And Don, you're looking aloha festive. How are you this week?
Well, I think I'm okay. I enjoyed a day off today where I didn't really do much, which now has made me tired now from not doing anything. But the Perseid meteor shower is tonight. It starts tonight. So if you are so inclined, you might want to check out the Perseids. And speaking of things up in the sky, we will have a solar update, rather large one tonight from Dr. T. So watch for that.
Excellent. Amanda, how are you this evening?
I am fantastic. I'm hot as well. It is still hot here in Colorado. And everybody, Josh, we had to have him blink Morse code to tell us that he was okay and that he's not being held hostage anywhere because he really does look like he might be holding a ransom note underneath him.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Hotel lighting is not very effective. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. But yeah, doing the best we got with what we have here.
Yeah, so anyhow,
we're gonna need to see a newspaper under you for proof of life.
Yes, we are. Yes. don't Mitch McConnell us. Come on, man. So anyhow, we've got a great show tonight, and I'm not really doing a whole lot of it. I'm just going to be offering ham it or can it, and but I'd just like to again welcome our surprise guests here, and Gordo, I'm going to let you take it away. Oh, and the Perseids.
Yeah, I'll be talking about that.
Yes,
as well.
You'll be talking about the Perseids. And I had a random fact for you, Randy, and then it just slipped my mind because we went live, of course. So I should have just written it down. I'll think of it later for you.
CRS.
So, yes, absolutely. So anyhow, let's see how far we can push Josh tonight and start sending around the room. Take it away, Gordo. It's all yours.
All right. Well, weekend after next, about 8 or 10 days away, is the Huntsville Ham Fest. And when we talk about the Huntsville Ham Fest, as you can see, everybody's got it programmed on their HTs or on their smartphones. This is 60 years that the Ham Fest Committee has been pulling off Huntsville. Huntsville for the last 3 times is also an ARRL national convention in 93, 2007, and now this year, 2026. So the league will be there in style with nearly 100 of the league personnel and volunteers representing the league. So Huntsville right around the corner. Well, for those of you that are planning to go to the ARRL get together on Friday evening, remember, Friday's a big day for Huntsville. They have multiple different tracks. The league has the Contest University track with Tim Duffy, K3LR, MCOM Academy. That's a full day track on Friday. And Salty Walt is going to be there, and he's got a full day all about antennas. But 6 p.m., we're going to go from the close by location out to a very, very great place, and that is the Space and Rocket Center, about 5 miles away. And at 6 p.m., it's going to be the ARRL National Dinner, and that's going to be held, catch this, uh, that's big, the international units that get astronauts into space and the space shuttle. But here it is. You're going to have dinner with the ARRL at 6 p.m. under a Saturn V rocket. And I'm assured that okay, there it is. So you're going to be having dinner right underneath the Saturn V rocket, and you're going to enjoy. So if you're coming to Huntsville, try and get there Wednesday and watch the setup, because when Huntsville does a setup, well, the rocket is already in place. But when they do the setup, they're going to be doing it at the Van Braun Civic Center. Now, this is like 100,000 feet of exhibit halls, and there's also going to be plenty of suites by Embassy Suites right there at the Hilton with a covered walkway where you'll be able to take in seminars. So whether you're there at the Braun Main Civic Center Hall, which you're going to see shortly, you're also going to be taking in the holiday Hilton holiday activities by walking over the covered walkway. And of course, ICOM will be there. Here we see in the past, they've got their big RV emergency vehicle. And over at the hotel, let me tell you, when things aren't happening in the main hall, over at the hotel, you're going to be seeing plenty of rooms with activities and seminars. Well, when it comes to a big hall containing all of the ham radio exhibits, we see that they've got a whole bunch of tables set up with nothing on them. Those are the swap meet tables. You're going to see very shortly that those tables will come alive. And this is great where we have the swap meet right next to the main exhibitors. And the nice thing about the swap meet is they can drive right in on Friday to unload. And that sure makes it happy for both exhibitors as well as those with a whole bunch of items they're planning on swapping. And you know it's going to be big when ICOM brings all of their great exhibits and the exhibit cases. It's amazing when they unfold and you see all that gear pulling out. And they have plenty of helpers that are going to be helping you at Huntsville unload or load up. And we've seen that before where they've really gone overboard. Now you're beginning to see on the aisle over all of the exhibit booths, and they've got 80 or 90 exhibitors that are bringing anything and everything. But we get hungry as we're setting up, and Huntsville is there again. They're called the friendliest ham fest around. They bring sweet rolls and sweet things to help exhibitors get set up. Now, over at Embassy Suites, that's the Hilton Hotel that's adjoined to the Von Braun Center. And if you're not right there at the Embassy Suites, not to worry. There's plenty of hotels that they have on their website, Huntsville Hamfest. And just Google that in and you'll see all of the other hotels. So there is plenty of room still around. Here you can see that at the hotel, they give you wonderful suites and they lock them up at night. So if you've got an exhibit first thing in the morning, they'll have it all ready for you and they open it up. And let me tell you, the crew at Huntsville goes absolutely out of their way. You know who that is? That's Marty Jew of MFJ retired. And he's got his pickles. I'm not sure what for, but he may be there as well, just as an onlooker. What a history with Martin. Now, for those of you that do kits, now I know Don is a kit builder, and I see Don drooling already.
A little bit.
Getting kits involved. So,
Little
Don, what kit was that you put together, and did it work?
I don't remember. It's been so long, and I don't have my glasses on, but I'm sure it didn't because I put it together. I don't know. I just grabbed something off the shelf for the picture, but
Well, anyway,
that is a cool
they've got plenty there.
yeah, cool
When the
vendor.
when the doors open at 9 a.m., the league has the ARRL Youth Lounge, and it'll be there the whole time. And that first Saturday morning, they have multiple balloon launches, weather balloons and pico balloons and massive balloons, and you'll see that just outside of the center. But here, this gives you a good idea. This is a huge area, and it's all together, other than the seminar suites, which are conveniently located on a walkover bridge to the Hilton Embassy Suites. And let's see, Don, you may want to talk about the great kids that you're soon to be showing right here. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our 2026 Young Ham of the Year tonight on the show here. We'll meet him and his dad here just shortly. But getting back to the youth forum in the youth area there, they've got a whole big area, just the youth lounge, that they do a great job. They will teach the kids how to solder and various other things. It's wildly popular, and they've been doing that for a long time. And they've actually had some youth robotics teams there as well. And of course, the Youth on the Air people will be there as well. And the Newsline folks, we're going to be sharing the table. So look for the Yoda table, and that's where you'll find us at Newsline. But yeah, Huntsville's a great, great, great ham fest, and that youth lounge is something to be seen.
All right. Well, we want the full report in a couple more weeks. And of course, both Saturday and Sunday, the two main days that the exhibit hall is wide open, it's preceded again Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right there at the Embassy Suites Hotel or very close nearby, some inside. So if you get there early, be sure and take in the sights right there before you go out there to the Space Museum. So as we move ahead, we see all sorts of exotic things. Roger and Kim with Wired Co. They're the ones with all the low noise LED light strips. They're going to be there. If you need any guy rope, there you go, guy rope. The sky wires that'll keep them busy. And big open space for exhibitors to spread out. And it's not a noisy hall at all. In fact, they have seats all over the place for us old hams over the hill after this weekend's 10 gig contest on hills. But they have seating. Now, again, this is all going to take place in Huntsville week after next. Now, I understand that we've been seeing Josh looking around inside the bins. Josh, I'm sure you're going to be there. And where will you be, or will you be everywhere, Josh?
Oh, it's a very good question. So, 4 days in August is a thing that one of the channels out here temporarily offline and some of the other folks are participating in. So, the festivities start, I guess, next week, Monday, Tuesday next week, and they go all the way until Friday. Friday is a noontime barbecue, which is put on by AA0Z up at Montsano. I have a link that was on my last live stream. I'll post it on this one as well so you guys can sign up. It's going to be packed. All the funds go to support usually an amateur radio cause, which we'll talk about at the event. That's the Friday before the show starts. And then obviously on Saturday, you will see me on the show floor. And yes, I will be pouring through all those bins, Gordo, looking for the sweet, sweet deals. but yeah, then we'll have a talk on Sunday morning with all the YouTubers that will be there before we all hop on planes and go our separate ways.
Okay. Well, I know you'll have a lot of fans, Josh. And again, we so much appreciate your support of Ham Nation. And we'll see out the swap meet or maybe in an exhibitor's booth, always some strange looking radios. And there, of course, is Don Arnold. He's a friend to all hams, including the manufacturers. And he says he'll maybe be showing up somewhere on a tuber or somewhere to catch up with Don. So we wish you all going to Huntsville weekend after this coming weekend the best success and have a great time and bump into Josh and give him a big thanks for putting on this show for us every other week. So this is Gordo, and yep, I'm going to be heading to the hills for the 10 gigahertz contest and higher. And 48 gigahertz is where a lot of folks are operating, but you know, the band doesn't stop there. So here we go with microwaves this weekend. San Bernardino Microwave Society groups. It's a good way to take a look at and see where everybody will be, at least here on the West Coast. Gordo, back to you, Amanda.
Well, thank you, Gordo. We appreciate your report and all of your wonderful different trips to Huntsville. So thank you. And another thing that's coming up this weekend, everybody, because I know I'll forget it later, is the North American QSO Party single side band. So that's a really big one, and it's for 12 hours, and you can operate 10 out of the 12. So if you're just looking at getting into contesting, perfect one for you to do because it's not all weekend, 48 hours, doesn't take a whole lot of your time. So with that, I'm going to send it to Donnie Boy and our guests. Take it away, Don.
Thank you. I am proud to present the 2026 Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Memorial Newsline Young Ham of the Year. This is Karsten Glassbrenner and his dad, Drew. Karsten's call is KQ4SJM and Drew their KO4MA. Congratulations, first of all, and welcome to Ham Nation. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me to the Ham.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your story in ham radio, Carson, and what got you. I know your dad was instrumental in that, being a big AMSAT guy. But tell me kind of what got the fires lit under you for ham radio.
Well, I've always been around ham radio since I was born. Really, he would always bring me up and let me talk through the satellites or just on HF in general. And he's always been there for me, and he's always had me associated with radio. So it just kind of clicked, and I love it. So.
And when did you get your license? How old were you?
I was 11, and I believe it was the
wow.
2023 at Hamvention. We decided to go out on a limb after I'd studied the evening before and passed 26 out of 35. So lucky there.
All right.
Good
You
job.
made it.
And what
It works.
exactly? What license class are you now?
I'm a general working on my extra. I passed my general exam, I think, in February of 2024, about
Wow.
a couple months after I got my technicians, and I passed that one with a 33 out of 35, so much better that time.
Oh, wow.
Good. Now you mentioned satellites. You've got a bunch of satellite contacts under your belt, don't you?
For sure. I think right now I have around 75 confirmed grids, but I have much more contacts from repeat contacts on different birds, but it's with the same people.
And you're an ambassador for AMSAT, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, excellent. Well, tell us more about kind of what you've been doing in ham radio and what grade are you going to be in school?
Well, on Tuesday here I started my freshman year in high school, and
Wow.
mainly what I do on radio is satellites, but of course I love HF, POTA, and all that stuff. So.
Excellent. So, are there any school club that you're involved with there, or any local clubs that you're involved with?
Well, I'm not. I'm looking to get into a ham radio club locally, but I haven't joined one yet. And since the year has just begun in high school, I haven't yet joined an after-school club. Other than wrestling, I've been doing wrestling for around 7 years, but this year I'm looking to do the IT club after school. So.
Oh, cool. My son does IT, and that's a great field to get into. You're also very interested in aircraft, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Excellent. Well, I have just been looking over the press release that we put out on you, just to kind of get some questions. I just want to see if there's anything that I've missed or anything that you want to tell our audience specifically about you that maybe we don't know.
Not at the moment. I wouldn't be able to think of anything that. I read the press release several times.
Okay.
So
Good.
once about an hour ago, but if I think of anything, I might want to mention it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What does an AMSAT ambassador do?
They ambass.
Yeah, Master's main role is to teach and present and demonstrate what amateur satellites do. And one of the main things I've done is at Hamcation and Hamvention, we have done demonstrations for various ham satellites, FM. We have done one digipeater, but that was a couple years ago before I got my license. But and we also do FM satellites, of course.
You can tell them about Stoda too.
Oh yeah, Stoda. Stoda's a youth initiative I'm trying to push out. I've noticed that there's not too many youth members in Ham, so I thought a good way to get more in is since many hams are older. I will say they do have kids, and I'm sure they would love to share their hobby with kids. And I thought Stoda might be a great way to get more kids in the field.
Absolutely, and Youth on the Air is going to be at Huntsville, so you want to stop by and see Neil Rapp, and maybe get involved with that. That's a very very cool thing. The Newsline people, we're going to be over at his table, so we'll be over there pretty
Yep.
much the whole time. And of course, you got to check out the Youth Lounge. I think you'd really dig that. I want to move over to Drew, proud Papa.
Yeah,
You got to be just immensely proud of this young man.
yeah, I am. He's a great kid, and I'm happy to see him pick up the hobby and do so much with it. And you know, he's really, he didn't tell you that he got his start as being free labor at Hamfest.
Yeah.
So, that's where he picked it up from.
Very nice. Very good. Well, we look forward to presenting the award to him at the Huntsville Hamfest here in a couple of weeks. And that is, I don't know, you've been to Huntsville. You're down in Florida. You've probably been to Huntsville a bunch of times, huh?
Actually, only once.
Oh, okay.
Last year or maybe the year before.
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah.
And I do have one more question because this always is one of my favorite interests of learning about people is Carson, what's your most memorable contact that you ever made?
Ooh, I'd have to
That's
think.
putting you on the spot, huh?
Well, there's several. My most embarrassing has got to be late night. Our main satellite antenna was down, so we go out to this road that's a rather flat horizon, and XE1 YDK. It took me about 3 minutes to get his call right, which was so embarrassing, and probably my favorite contact with Mark N8H no N8
Mike Hotel.
yeah Mike Hotel N8MH, and we were testing or they were testing the transponder. I transmitted, and we made the first contact on MESAT-1 while testing the transmitter. For the
Oh, neat.
transponder.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Very cool.
That's
Very
cool.
cool. Very cool. Well, I just want to thank you both for dropping in tonight. We do appreciate it. We like to spotlight our young ham, and this is I guess the first time that our audience has been able to kind of meet you. And I certainly hope that we'll have a lot of people come up and say hello to you at Huntsville. That is a
And
great ham fest, and you're going to enjoy it. Go ahead, Gordo.
Don, it's important that everybody knows that Bill Pasternak, for which this award started, was so passionate about getting more kids into ham radio. And he says one thing that will really attract them is operating the stations in space. So
That's true.
we're
That's
making
very
it
true. In
happen
fact,
here.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Bill's QSL card had a satellite on it. So yeah, he was very passionate about youth and amateur radio and space communications and just all kinds of stuff. So he is up in heaven smiling down at you, going such a beautiful thing. So yeah, we cannot wait to meet you in person on stage at Huntsville, where we present you the award, and we want to thank you again for coming on, and congratulations.
Yeah.
I always say it every year on stage and here as well, that the news is full of bad people doing bad things, but those are by far the minority. They say that one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, the whole basket or whatever. But thankfully, those bad apples are. I hate to even use that analogy, but anyway, those people are the minority by far, and people like you are going to be running the world. And every year, I think we can't get a better representative for amateur radio youth. And every year, I'm shown up. So, to you, congratulations, and you are going to be one of the people running this world whenever people like me are gone. And I just feel in my bones that we're all in just great shape. So, thank you for that.
yeah, thank you for inviting me on, and I'm very happy to be on. So
Well, thank you. Drew, we'll see you too as well,
Congratulations.
and the rest of your family, and we're looking forward to meeting everyone in Huntsville.
Yeah, same here. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Josh, that's all I have.
All right. Well, I think we're going to try and make this run over to get a few words from ICOM.
Fun, Sun, and QSO. From base stations to portable models, ICOM has the best radios for working your favorite bands this summer. Whether outside enjoying sunny skies or inside by the AC, stay cool with ICOM. Kick back, enjoy the breeze, and make those QSOs with ease. Remote ready, contest capable, and built for serious signal, step into the future of amateur radio with ICOM's powerhouse trio. The IC7760 HF 50 MHz digital transceiver, the ICPW2 1kW HF 50 MHz linear amplifier, and the all-new RC7760 remote controller. Designed to work in perfect harmony, this system offers full remote operation, high output performance, and seamless integration across the bands. The RC7760 remote control serves as an extra control head, and up to 5 can be registered to the RF deck, though only one can be active at a time. For wireless connectivity, simply connect a commercially available Wi-Fi access point via the LAN port. Whether you're working from the shack, the field, or a remote site, you'll experience crystal clear audio, digital precision, and amplifier-grade power, all from a single unified interface. It's the ideal setup for contesters, MCOM operators, and high-demand users who expect more from their gear. Together, they redefine what's possible in amateur radio, setting a new standard for global connectivity and reliability. The IC7300 combines intuitive touchscreen control, real-time spectrum display, and superior signal purity into one compact rig. Serious performance for serious operators with the IC9700 VHF UHF 1.2 GHz all-mode transceiver. Whether used as a club setup or a personal portable station, the IC705 delivers capable ICOM performance when every contact counts. For more information about all of ICOM's great amateur radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
A massive thank you to ICOM for sponsoring us here at Ham Nation. Thank you so much for the support. Every time we go live, which is every 2 weeks, we give away 3 swag packs, and at the end of the month, we pick a winner, and ICOM gives them a radio. This month, we're going to be giving away an IC V86. And if you click that link in the, oh, actually, it is the Icon V86, but I got to go all the way down so you guys can see it. Let me scroll all the way down because we got that. There it is in August, the IC V86. If you click the link, enter now, it's the first link in the video description. You can sign up. And this week we are giving a swag pack away to Harvey S, KJ5 PVV, Brandon S, AD8MZ, and Kevin C, KD4GMD. So congratulations to the winners, and thanks again to ICOM. I'm throwing it back to Don for his updates and Amateur Radio Newsline.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the news of the week from Amateur Radio News. And I have a very big, very full Tamitha Skov update. There's a lot of stuff going on, and that's actually, I had to cut about half of her video out. So if you want to see the whole thing, you'd check out her YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and roll the beautiful ham radio footage. From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2545, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, August 12, 2026. Our top story is the historic first contact between amateur radio on the International Space Station and the African nation of Kenya. Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, brings us up to date.
The voice from space belonged to astronaut Sophie Adno, KJ5LTN, using the call sign OR4ISS. Back here on Earth, the voices were those of students at a school in Nairobi, Kenya, selected earlier this year to be the first in an African country to participate in amateur radio on the International Space Station. It was hosted by the Kenya Space Agency on the 5th of August with the help of a telebridge via ON4ISS in Belgium. The students posed 11 questions ranging over a variety of topics. The event was a big moment, not just for the students, but Kenya's relatively young space agency, established in 2017 to advance that nation's agenda for using space technology to boost socioeconomic development. To view the QSO, visit the links to the Kenya Space Agency's YouTube channel in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
Amateur radio station PR2LL went on the air late last month in Sao Paulo, Brazil, a fitting tribute to a radio pioneer who was both a man of God and a man of science. We have more details from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Even as Guglielmo Marconi was busy making headlines with his early experiments in radiotelegraphy, a Brazilian priest named Father Roberto Landel de Moura held fast to his belief in the power of radiotelephony, the wireless transmission of the human voice. The priest's successful work advanced wireless communications at the turn of the 20th century. On the 25th of July, Hams in his native Brazil celebrated his legacy with the inauguration of the Landel de Moura Memorial and its permanent on-site amateur radio station. The Radio Shack installation was the work of many members of the São Paulo chapter of the Liga de Amadores Brasileiros de Radioemissão, Brazil's amateur radio society. It's located inside a carefully curated memorial conceived and maintained by the priest's great-grandnephew, Silvio Landel de Moura. It contains an array of educational displays of his inventions, patents, and other scientific accomplishments. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The DXpedition to Tokelau has been given access to the island territory this November from the government, as we learn from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
The Tokelau DXpedition team has received the necessary written permission to bring the team to the New Zealand Island Territory in November. The Perseverance DX Group and the Western Washington DX Club made the announcement in late July, saying that plans are going forward for the 14-day activation on the atoll, where the operators will be on the HF bands using CW, SSB, RTTY and FT8 in Foxhound mode. This will be the first expedition to Tokelau since the ZK3A activation in 2019. Organisers said they are now coordinating with the government to handle the logistics for sleep and meal accommodation as well as their operating location. A call sign has not yet been announced. Tokelau is about 480 kilometres or 300 miles north of Samoa. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio News Line, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
We have two solar storms headed toward Earth. One is a direct hit, one's a glancing blow, plus a smidge of fast solar wind and new regions in the east. That makes this a very interesting week. Space weather this week is picking up in activity. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, even though we don't have that many active regions in Earth view, we are still getting solar storm launches. And that's because of a lot of these worm-like filaments that we're seeing on the disk. Here's one right here. Here's another one right here. Here's another. Here's another one here. Here's another one here. They're all over. And these have been launching kind of left and right. And some of them are actually Earth directed. In fact, we did just calm down from a very slow solar storm from a filament launch that actually bumped us up to storm levels for a little bit, but didn't bring us all that much aurora. But that means Earth is primed and ready to go if another solar storm were to launch, and the sun did not disappoint. As you can see here on the 8th, you're going to see this filament right here launched, whoosh, like that. And then you get another one. This one right here launched just literally like an hour right after it. Watch that. Whoosh. So very beautiful solar storm launches. And when we take a look in coronagraphs, you can see the beginning of the first solar storm launch, this was the full halo, and then you're going to see this second one launch off to the side, and it was much more dense, as you can see right there. But we've got this full halo that goes all the way around the sun. That's that one launch. That's the one that's Earth directed. And then you've got this stronger one that's off to the side, but it is going to be giving kind of like a glancing blow to Earth, and it's also going to give that first one a little bit of a kick to kind of bump it up and make it a little bit more effective here at Earth. So as we take a look now at a closer view of this, I'm going to take away the actual magnetic field right here, and you can actually see that solar storm launch as well as the filament down here. Let me get onto the other side. The reason why I want to show you this is because we actually have a little bit of a complicated set of structures here that we'll talk about more in a sec. So there goes that first one. You can see it. And there goes that second one. Just absolutely beautiful. And you can see these dark structures here, here, and here. Now, these are actually coronal holes, and they make this whole eruption geometry quite complicated. So as we return to our disk, you can barely see the coronal holes here, here, and here, right? But let me overlay the Wang-Shili-Argy model. This is a model that's been around for a long time, and it really helps us trying to understand the topology of the sun magnetically and what the solar wind is going to look like as it evolves out from the sun. Here is an overlay. Thanks to Nick Argy and the WSA dashboard, you can actually see a coronal hole right here. This thing is extremely long. Now, it doesn't really look that way when you look at the actual sun. It looks kind of veiled. You don't even realize there's a coronal hole in there, but there is. And it's actually got solar wind that's probably going to be in close to the 500 kilometer a second range. And that is actually going to be helping to push that solar storm a little bit faster. So here's the filament channel. You can see it along this neutral line. That's where the thing actually erupted. You can also see another coronal hole. It doesn't map very well on this particular image. It does on others, that the coronal hole in the north comes all the way down. So you're going to see coronal hole here, and coronal hole here, all helping to kind of give that solar storm, that Earth-directed solar storm, a bit of an extra kick. And as I kind of play this forward in time, you can actually see this and then take it off. Now you should be able to really see that coronal hole is actually all the way through. And you can see now that where that filament was right here in this area, it's literally corralled on the east side of it, on the south side of it, on the north side of it, and then by the filament launch on the west side of it as well. So this particular solar storm is going to get a lot of little boosts and a little help from all sorts of different sources, because none of these structures ever just launch into a vacuum. They always launch into a world of stuff. So this is what's going to make this particular solar storm quite interesting as we move on. We're also going to get a bit of fast solar wind kind of as a chaser. It's not going to be all that strong, but it might actually give us a little bit of a kick afterwards and cause any type of storming that we have to linger a little bit longer than it otherwise would have. Now, as I switch, let me take a look at a different wavelength of the sun, because I want to show you a couple other things. You notice the coronal holes now look like they're gone. Believe it or not, they're not. It's just a different wavelength. This is having 171 angstroms along with a couple others. And you can see right here on the far side of the sun, this beautiful plume that you wouldn't have been able to see otherwise. This is old region 4493. It is still active on the far side, and we'll talk about that. We also have a couple new regions that are emerging. You can see one right there, and here's another one coming up right there. So these regions are going to be growing quite quickly. That's likely going to boost that solar flex. We also might see a little bit of an increase in big flares, but we'll talk about that a bit more and what it means when we look at the far side of the sun. And now switching to our full sun map, we are lucky that we still have stereo A as well as solar orbiter on the sun's far side, so we can construct a 360-degree view of the sun and see what's lurking there. Now, as we take a look at our orbit circle, you can see here's Earth, here's stereo A looking at the sun from the west limb, and then solar orbiter on the far side of the sun just behind the east limb looking at the far side. So as we construct this, you can see SDO AIA imagery in red. That's the front side of the sun. We've got solar orbiter in blue. That's the far side mainly on the east limb. And then this little sliver here of green is stereo A covering the west limb that these two just don't get. So let me set this in motion. This is starting clear back on the 31st. So you can really see some interesting eruptions. In fact, that filament I talked about that Earth just dealt with right there, did you see that kind of puff? that was part of the filament structure. It actually was a lot larger than that, but that filament structure is what gave us that slow solar storm that hit the other day and bumped us up to storm levels for a little while. Wish it had been faster because it was nice and strong, but it just couldn't give us any aurora because it was too slow. Since then, we've had a couple other small filament eruptions. You can see a couple here and there popping, and then we get the big filament eruption right in here in the middle disk right there. That's great. Now, let's switch back. I'm going to back it up just a smidge because really what I want you to pay attention to is what's going on the far side just behind the east limb. This is old region 4493. Here's old region 4491. We've got that right there. And you can see 4493 over the last few days has really been growing. We also have a new region right here that's growing as well. So this is going to be very interesting as this one rotates into Earth view. That's where that big plume is. That's going to be possibly, it's going to be upping the solar flux a bit, but also popping us up to maybe a bit more noise on the dayside radio bands. This new region also is going to be giving us more noise on the dayside radio bands. Hard to tell whether or not this is going to become a big flare player yet, though. Really kind of too early to tell. And now, as we look to the east limb of Earth on the Earth side of the disk, you can actually see a couple new regions that have been emerging very slowly. They have not been numbered yet, as far as I know, but they may be soon if they continue to grow. They also may end up causing more noise on the dayside radio bands, increasing that solar flux and possibly creating radio blackouts here over this next week. So you amateur radio operators and emergency responders know that this quiet reprieve of very little radio blackouts and noise on the bands may be ending soon. It's too early to tell, but because we've got those new regions that are either rotating into Earth view, as we see here from the far side, or growing and emerging on the front side of the disk, well, those all together will definitely make some change. And now switching to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, believe it or not, we are sitting below 100 right now for solar flux. And that's kind of like, oh no, propagation isn't all that good. But don't worry about it. We're still doing all right. However, for right now, we are in the low noise range. We are going to be sitting at about 5% chance of M-class flares. This is at the R1 to R2 level radio blackout, so it's nice and quiet. We basically have no chance for X-class flares, so that's a really good thing. But things will change as we move toward the end of the week. Expect to have those regions rotating into Earth view from the far side. Also, those new regions on Earth's day side are going to be continuing to grow. Not expecting a lot, but we easily could be back into the 100s for solar flux by the weekend. Expecting only about a 10% chance of M-class flares as we move into the weekend, but that could rise a bit more. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders, expect the noise on the dayside radio bands to begin to rise just a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. And now switching to our radiation storm and polar aviation outlook over the coming week, we are all in the green when it comes to radiation storms. We're sitting at the D1 normal range. This is at the flight level 360 for you aviators. It's also the S0 quiet range for everyone else. And it looks like we're all in the clear. So you frequent flyers, and this does include high risk passengers and flight crew, well, you're likely going to be in the clear for the rest of this week, but maybe next week things could get a little bit busier. So be sure to watch those ICAO advisories. So the space weather this week is getting very exciting. We have those two solar storms that are headed toward Earth, with that one being a direct hit, and it's getting a little bit of a kick from some fast wind from several coronal holes, as well as the western flank of that other solar storm that's going to graze Earth. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you're definitely going to get a show. You might even get a little bit of a fast wind chaser. Aurora photographers at mid latitudes, likely the 12th is going to be the peak day. But, get ready by the 11th because, well, we could see it hit a little bit earlier than expected. Now, amateur radio operators and emergency responders, well, things are looking pretty good for you right now. The dayside radio band should be reasonably quiet, and you've got a few more days for that to stay that way. But we could see, as we roll into the weekend, we could see a little bit more noise on the dayside radio bands, and next week after that might get a little bit noisier. So enjoy your reprieve, and as long as you stay away from the night side with aurora, things should be pretty good. Of course, check out that total solar eclipse. You might see some really interesting radio propagation changes associated with it. And now you GPS users, well, the solar eclipse in the northern hemisphere might cause a little bit of wonky reception up there, so be vigilant if you're happening to be up in those high latitudes. But outside of that, stay away from aurora, and things should be pretty good. I'm Tamitha Skov, Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
And a great report from Dr. T tonight and the Newsline people as well. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but she tends to key her shirt color by how big a report is
Yes.
and what kind of activity is going on. And when she wears red, you know we're in for something. So, and again, that report, I had to cut about half of it out for time.
That's crazy.
Go
Yeah.
check out her YouTube channel, and you'll see the entire thing. Plus, she does a lot of live streams as well, long form live streams where she interacts live with the viewing audience. So if you haven't checked out one of those, you go back and check out a replay of some of those. She's such a treasure, and we do appreciate her being on the program with us. So what's next? Are we rambling with Randy?
Yes, we are, but we have to say thank you to Chris Edgerly, KB6AIN, for $5 super chat.
Wow.
Thank you, Chris.
We
Yeah,
very much
and the kind
appreciate
words
that.
about Dr. T as well. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Great presentation tonight is what he says. Okay, so
Thank you,
now
Chris.
we can go to
Yeah.
Rambling with Randy.
Rambling.
Mhm.
He's a rambling guy.
Yeah, I watched Tamitha last night. I had it on the large screen here. My wife walked in and she says, "What is all that?" I said, "Space weather." And she says, "Huh?" I said, "This is going to tell us if we're going to have a storm or see any roar." So anyway, yeah, we got a couple of things here we can chat about here. Let me get the screen here brought up here. And here we go. Move the microphone. Okay, so I got a couple of things here to talk about tonight. And 6-meter meteor scatter is going on. Tonight's the big night, and I've been receiving some pictures, SSTV, from RS-18S here this morning. So tonight is the night for the Perseid meteor shower. So tonight's supposed to be the peak, though it depends kind of which things you look at. Some say tonight or tomorrow night, but it runs for several nights. So here it says the peak is UTC 1400 on August 13th. Well, we're still on August 12th. So the mornings are probably your best bet.
UTC time though, right?
Yeah. Well, our mornings are the best time to take and try and hear what's going on. So watch in the hours before dawn. Do not watch so much in the early evening because the Earth hasn't spun around to get in the debris path of the comet. So this is what happens, as the sun and the Earth do their orbiting. During the year, the Earth ends up passing through the debris path from the comet here, Swift-Tuttle. So that's what we want. We want to be in that. So here it talks about says the highest number of meteors occur in the pre-dawn hours because when it's the side of the Earth that you're situated on has rotated into the stream of the comet debris. Think of it as a bit like driving through the rain. The windshield catches more raindrops than the back window. So that's what we're trying to capture here. So, when this happens, my wife says, "You going to go outside and look?" I said, "No, this is how I look." So,
yes.
So this is WSJT. This was this morning, I think sometime, I don't know, 6 o'clock or so, a little bit, after 6 in the morning, I came out here and I was seeing these big bursts. So what happens here is, if you're familiar with FT8, you have a 15-second transmit receive cycle. Well, we still on here have a 15-second receive and transmit cycle, but with FT8, it takes about 13 seconds to send the data stream. It sends it very slow. For the meteor scatter, we use the MSK 144, and it sends it out in 70 milliseconds, and it repeats it over and over again. So a very short burst, it'll detect the bounce and be able to decode. But I was having these real long bursts here, up to like 6-7 seconds, and I go, "Oh my, that's a big rock burning up." So this is what's current, and this was the previous 15-second time slot. So you can see here, I heard this guy calling me many, many times, and here he is calling this other guy. So, it decodes many, many times during the sequence. So it sends fast bursts, about 73 milliseconds. uses 100 or 1000 and 2000, although it kind of centers on 1500 hertz. The frequency is 50.260 or maybe 280 or 265, I think. So if it gets busy, it's good to move off the main frequency. So the data repeats approximately 200 times during the 15-second time. So sometimes it's just a very short burst, and you can hear this in the radio. Turn the speaker and goes bzz, bzz, and the long one goes bzz, just keeps buzzing away. So here's the setups that you need to do. I think standard, the frequency tolerance is much tighter, so you want to open that up to 200. The transmit receive, in fact, I just brought this mode on before Ham Nation tonight. It was set back at 30 seconds. So change that to 15, and kind of the 6 meter mode of operation. If you're beaming west, you transmit in the even time. And if you're on the West Coast beaming east, you go on the odd, where you take an uncheck this box. But if you're just listening and you hear somebody calling CQ, just go for it. Don't worry about the time. So again, this is what you see. And we don't have a waterfall. We have an amplitude versus time. So this is like a oscillograph type of plot here. So here it was from 1 to about 7 seconds, so a 6-second burn. And here's about a 4-second. And the previous time was over here. Here was like a shorter one, maybe a second or so. And it's really neat to hear it and then see it decode up on the screen. And you'll see it decode maybe on a long burst many, many times. So that's really kind of neat. So anyway, give it a try. If you're on FT8, go to MSK 144 on 6 meters. It should put the radio on 260. Put it on now. Change the settings like I recommended there to the frequency tolerance of 215-second duration. Use whatever antenna you have. Maybe if you don't have a 6 meter antenna, just use your wire antenna and see what you can receive. Let it run all night long, the radio and the computer, and see what you see in the morning. If you get up early, come out to the shack, you may see some real-time burns going on, and it's really neat to hear the buzz of what's going on. The other thing is happening right now for the next day or two is the SACACube RS-18 satellite is sending out pictures on 437.354 megahertz, robot 36, and it's 3 minutes between the image transmission. So hopefully you get a higher elevation pass, so you get an opportunity to get hopefully a picture during the midpoint of the pass, so that you can get a pretty good image. So these are the two that I received this morning. And again,
pretty good.
Yeah, this is with the 9700. I have a 9x9 435 circular polarization antenna. Don't worry about that if you're just playing around. You're probably going to need more than a ground plane. And then the MMSSTV software. And my sat box was controlling the beam. And last night also had my all sky camera running all night.
Wow.
So this does
Look
a
at
star
that.
trail. So it takes all the images and stacks them together, so you get the star trails. But you see all sorts of other things here. I don't know if they're satellites or airplanes. Here's some other tracks here. There's a bunch of stuff down here. Something happened there. And this is my patio lit up outside, and this is Go Beach down here, and this is the neighbor with all his lights on. This is a windsock. It's blown out because of all the multiple exposures. So
That is a cool picture, Randy. Very vibrant.
yeah.
Oh, that's great, Randy.
So this is what it looks like when it's running, and it looks like
I think we lost the screen share. Maybe did we lose the screen share?
Oh, okay. Let me bring it back up here. I guess when I dropped that image, it dropped. No, it doesn't want to do it.
Uh-oh.
It must be running different. Oh, entire screen. Oh, here
I'll
it
let
is.
you
Here we
poke
go.
at that, and I'll make a
There we
mention
go.
if you're doing. Oh, he's got it. Never mind.
So this is what it looks like when it's running. You can see it's going through the 15-second sequence. I did get a burst here from a guy in CN87. I'm in CN72, so he wasn't too far away from me. And you'll see a little noise here once in a while. It's a little early in the evening, but this is what it does when it's running. And if we don't lose the screen share, I'll bring over DX
Yep.
Maps.
Ooh,
This is showing
yeah.
what's happening on 6 meters right now.
Look at that.
And yeah, so the guys in the Midwest are working. The blue lines, it somehow detects it as meteor scatter,
Ooh.
MS. So it looks like a little bit on the East Coast. This dark line is a double hop. Of course, I live right up here. So if I don't know, let's switch this over to FT8 and it goes back to this type of mode. Probably won't see anything, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So we'll let it go through here to the next cycle. So yeah, it's kind of a neat mode.
Yeah, I did have a question, Randy. I know we did a live stream back was the Geminids. I think it was down in fall
Geminids.
timeframe. Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a couple of comments on best type of antenna to use for a meteor scatter event. Because that's not always the same, but I could be wrong. Have you heard that discussion?
No, but I would think a beam would help because you want to kind of point it in the general direction. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
have
true. Yeah.
The HF beam I have, the JK antennas Navasa 5. There's a lot of aluminum up there on the top of the tower, but it's 2 elements on each band. So I have 2 elements on 6. So that's what I have. That's what I use, and it works. So yeah, use what you have.
Run
Hey,
what
Randy,
you brung.
someone put
That's
in
right.
the chat, Randy cooking my brain with all this info from the ladies' ham. It's
Well,
a true statement.
and my dad was a ham, just like just like Karsten's. So I got started on it when I was back in '68. So I've been playing at this for 58 years and still going strong. And I kind of passed my dad the time I graduated from high school and going into college of the type of stuff I was working on and all the gear I was dragging home and teletype and all that. So it can be a lifetime hobby and really help out your career if you want to go into the technical side of things. So yeah, he's got a great future ahead of him.
Absolutely. All right, Randy. Well, thank you for your ramblings. We appreciate it. And everybody, turn on your radios, record, and report back.
Yeah, get them contacts off the Perseids.
Perseids, yep.
Okay.
And,
okay.
I think we're ready for ham it or can it.
It's the reason I went all the way out here to do this live stream.
And I have one just for you too.
In far flung Alabama, here I am to just do ham it.
We have to have the show so that we can have ham it or can it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hilarious. Well, it's funny because I put one special in for you and one in special for Dawn this week. So,
oh, buddy, here we go.
Okay,
here we go.
All right, what do we got first? Oh, of course, the first one is like whatever. Okay, Evan says, "How far will my radio actually reach?" Ask a ham radio snob, and you'll get the same non-answer every time. It depends. Followed by an unprompted lecture on Fresnel zones and takeoff angle. First of all, I don't even know what Fresnel zones are.
Fresnel, and we would not bring up Fresnel in that conversation.
This is a microwave gang.
And second, it's not what your radio does; it's what the waves coming from your radio and how far they go.
Yeah,
we're talking. This is not pumpkin chunkin' where we're seeing how far radio goes.
I can pick up the moon.
Yeah, it's not artillery, right? This isn't artillery we're talking about.
I mean, just because we're going to tell you it depends doesn't mean that we're a snob. Okay.
I
So
start with it depends, and then we say, what's your antenna?
yeah.
What frequency you're operating on? How much power do you have? Gordo, how do you answer that question?
Oh boy. You never know. Bounce a signal off the moon, and that's a whole bunch of miles.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
One would say the
you could.
most miles.
We're bouncing off the International Space Station, or we're bouncing off of our repeater at the mountain right next to our city. So it's again, it does. It always starts with it depends. So he's half right, but it doesn't make us a snob. Okay. How far can your ham radio go? It depends on how strong your trebuchet is. Oh boy. All right, where am I? Let's go next here. Sorry, wrong screen. Okay, proposed extra question for extra. This is just funny. Station in Kansas City calls CQEU on 6 meters during rare opening. You are in New York. Do you reply yes to let him know he's getting out? B, yes, I'm Italian American. C, yes, I can work EU every day from New York. D, forget about it. It's got to be D.
That's yep.
Don't answer if they're not calling for your area. Just don't do it. If they're like,
Right.
if anyone can hear me, I'm calling for DX. Let me know you can hear me. Then you answer. But other
Right.
than that,
Yeah.
don't interrupt.
Don't interrupt.
Yeah. This one's for you, Joshy.
Hey, I know that guy. Just call me Coco. I follow him on Instagram too. He's the maker
you?
of he makes the device to the left of the little, well, they're all little boxes, but the
I know. I was
farmost
like,
left thing just below that one. Not that one,
they're
that one. He
all
makes that.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
this is
Wi-Fi
just
jammer.
crazy. I'm like, so do you see it
They
like
do
a
that.
bunch of these all over DEF CON all the time? Like everyone has like 16 of these wrapped around their belts, or what's going on here?
Yes. Let me go back really fast. So well, actually I'll go to me for a second. So hold please. Hold please. So I've got two. Uh-oh, what just happened? There we go. Freaked out for a second. I've got two right here. um, as well as a mesh device and a bunch of other stuff. There's so much of these little fun boxes that do things, potentially illegal things that they do, yes. But it's like anything. If you have knowledge in something that could do something dangerous, that doesn't mean that the knowledge is bad. It means that your potential use of it could be bad, but could be.
Yes.
Yeah, just
It's
call me
like,
Coco's cool. As the number, actually, I'll mention again. Actually, I am going to be interviewing the maker of one of the boxes on that picture this Saturday on my live stream. It's the little, so the one that I just said he makes, the one right to the right of that one, the Nyan box. Yeah, the Nyan cat box. Yeah. I will be
okay,
interviewing the creator of that.
very cool. Well,
Yes.
I knew this would grab your attention, and I saw so many tweets from that this weekend. Okay, and this one is for Donnie Boy. So, listening to Amateur Radio Newsline on a nearby
Cool.
220 megahertz repeater. Nice to hear the band get more use. Absolutely. And we also love to know that people are listening to Amateur Radio Newsline. What say you, Don?
And he's muted.
Uh-oh.
What say you, Don?
Is he? Uh-oh, he's muted.
Push the red button.
He's like, well, FFS.
Hit F5, right, Don. Now. Let's try it again. We'll come back.
We'll go back to you. Okay. I didn't realize that this was tweeted by a ham, so now it's not as funny, but he says, let's bring back ham radio in Morse code. Yes, I don't think we need to bring it back because it's already coming back. We've already done it. We've already done our job.
We haven't gone anywhere.
It never went away. It never went away. But I wanna give a shout out. I was recently jumped into a group called the Brass Knuckle Gang. You have to make a CW contact on 2 meters with a member of the Brass Knuckle Gang to be a part of the Brass Knuckle Gang.
I have seen this. Yes. I might have even mentioned it in a Ham It or Can It, but yes.
Yeah, I am member number 99. And they have since blown past 99 now. And Forrest, who's the creator of this group, is actually going to be at the Huntsville Ham Fest. And rumor has it that if you go up to him, or he'll have a booth. Actually, I take that back. If you go up to him and you want to join and you make a contact with him, you can also be in the Brass Knuckle Gang.
Ooh, get your numbers, everybody. Don, are you with us?
Am I back now?
You are
Yeah.
back,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. That is so weird. I did not mute at all. But anyway, so Jason, if you're watching, let us know what repeater you're listening to Newsline on, and we will put you in the ID break in the middle. Just email it to us, newsline@arnewsline.org.
Oh, I'll reply to his tweet.
Yeah, fill out the form on the website. Let us know.
And someone put out the Brass Knuckle Gang site. Okay, what else do we got?
Yep.
This is another false statement. 20 years from now, it'll just be me and my ham radio. Wrong. If it's just you and your ham radio, that means that there's tons of people to talk to. So you will never be just you.
Exactly.
Well, I think he's basically saying it's only going to be ham radio in 20 years as we Stone Age ourselves.
Okay, all
That's
right.
another interpretation.
Okay, Skynet takes over.
Yeah.
Lost the war with the machines, and that's what he's talking about. Okay, got it.
Cool.
I see how I could misconstrue that. Let's see. What else interesting did I have to? I had so many this week. I only went through 5 days of tweets, but I could still keep going.
Yeah, Amanda, what hole on Twitter did you fall into to find all these?
It's crazy. Okay, ham radio, blah blah blah. Ham radio isn't just for emergencies. It's for updating a guy 1,500 miles away on the status of your diabetes. Okay, so this was irritating, but it might be true.
It's for all of the above.
Meters.
It's for all of the above.
It's for both, right?
There's a space for everyone. There's a space for everyone.
For everyone, exactly.
Yeah,
and you have a big knob on the front of the radio.
Yeah.
Right. Go find the niche.
Yep. And when you start to hear the politics or the colonoscopy nuts, you just move away and you call CQ and you talk about the weather and what antenna you're running. Oh my God, it's so simple. If not, follow Karsten and go hit a bird.
Yeah, go do something. It never fails for me to stumble onto somebody arguing on politics on ham radio, like on HF. And I always wonder, it's like, do they not have anything else going on in their life that they get so caught up with what some random person on the radio is talking about? Just go do something else that's more important.
We never hear the fun stories like they ran into this weird QSO where this was their kid's first contact on HF. I never see those tweets. Tweet that, you people.
Yeah. I've been on those. We've all been on those.
You ran into a World War II vet who was at D-Day.
Yes. Absolutely. When I run W1AW, it never fails. Every single session that I run, someone is saying, I just got my general. This is my first contact. And it just hits me so dear to hear those. I do
absolutely.
too. All right. What else do we got? This is about auto patches. Yeah, it was really long and I didn't realize it was this long. But yes, you can use a 2-meter radio to call a phone if the repeater you are using has a phone patch feature, which allows connections to landlines. So basically he was replying to somebody, I think I might have that tweet as well, is that I will always keep my landline in case everything else fails. That don't work anymore.
They're done. There's no landlines really to houses anymore. They all use.
That's not copper lines anymore. So anyhow, long story short, so this person was saying auto patches still exist. They are rare and far and few between. Has anyone actually used an auto patch ever?
I can't remember the last time I even heard someone bring one up.
Gordo, you made some auto patch phone calls yourself?
We do on 14300 Maritime Mobiles. We take them up 20, 30 kilohertz and pass some traffic for some boater that has no local landline within 1,000 miles.
I wish I had kept the recording. I heard a dude who decided to stay another night camping or something because he was hunting. And he asked, he searched for repeaters all over the place. And he finally found one where somebody assisted him in making an auto patch call to his wife to let her know, don't worry about me. I'm going to stay another 24 hours. So
when was that?
Just a couple of years ago. And I wish I would have had saved the recording because I didn't realize how rare it would be or how interesting that would be in the future of listening to that. And in fact, I thought, well, he's calling his wife. So I turned down the volume. when I was listening to it, but it was on a repeater system, and yeah, it still exists, everybody. But do your research before you're just like, I'm going to depend on an auto patch to make a phone call.
I can't imagine 5% of repeaters have auto patches. I couldn't
No,
even. I would be
yeah.
surprised if that was a true number. They don't
Yeah,
exist
I
really.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can't remember the last time I saw one.
yeah, it's very rare anymore, and you got to those repeater owners must be passionate about it. I would say here was the thing about not everyone will agree, but I think a landline is still worth keeping around for the day cell towers go down. It's not going to do you any good, honey.
Well, they're gone. They're just you already
Yeah,
hit it, right? It's all VoIP
yep.
now, and there's no copper. There's no landline. Nobody ran the
It's a
wire.
network.
There's
Nope,
no POTS system.
and everyone crying about all those data centers. Well, those data centers host your phone calls too. So, as if the landline will do any better, get a ham radio and keep it in a Faraday cage, maybe. Why is everyone so stuck on these Faraday cages?
In case of nuclear war.
Because they watch my video on the tactical trash can, which is a Faraday cage that I have 3 radios in, because I have piles of radios and I needed somewhere unique to
needed more
put
storage.
some of them. I just needed more storage, so I made a Faraday trash can and I put radios in it.
As one does.
As one does.
If Leah gets upset with you, she would just move it out to the curb some trash day.
That's right. Yeah.
I know. I don't know, Josh. Unless you had soundproof evidence that the Faraday cage is going to save that radio and make it usable after whatever happens. I'm not convinced yet, you guys.
Well, I tested it with
least of your problems. Yeah.
I tested it with a spectrum analyzer, and I showed that it's like 70 dB of attenuation across many bands, many frequencies. So,
but did you test it with a small thermonuclear device? No.
Yes, Don. Yeah, I took it out to the Trinity site, and I got a special use permit right after I activated with the Discone in Arizona, and I just took it on out there, and we did a little experiment.
So everything is
my protrusion. I stand corrected.
I'm gonna stand on it's all theory at this point, and we will not know
right
until whatever happens. And speaking of SHTF, it's in our next tweet. So when SHTF hits, the first hour is critical. Avoid panicking or driving aimlessly. Gather information via NOAA or ham radio. Fill water containers while pressure lasts, and keep family plans low key. I have absolutely no idea like what kind of disaster this person's talking about. They weren't replying to anybody. It's just a scenario of SHTF, and you have no idea, and you can fill in the blanks from there. But at least he put ham radio in there.
My favorite part is get information from ham radio. Like it's, hello, ham radio, give me information, please. Like you have to have way more knowledge into like what you're getting from it than anything else, and there's just no context there.
No, it's not. And you see like they're hashtagging prepping and emergency prep, but this isn't even like
a bot made it. That's some clanker posts.
I don't know. I don't get it, but I could fill in some blanks if I had a scenario. Oh my gosh, I feel this. I feel this tweet right here, and I'm going to tell you because I'm signing up to be a VE, and I went through ham exam tools. And they're like, congratulations. And it took me 16 steps. And I finally asked them to just delete my account and let me just start over. And they were very kind and cordial and did that. So they zapped it because I had 2 different emails and 1 call sign and I couldn't get in. So they got rid of my account and I got back in. And now I'm at the step where they're like, you can't upload a copy of your ham license. We have to have the certified one from the FCC. And dear God, if I FRN numbers, I had 3 of them, and I don't know why I have 3 FRN numbers. I have not gotten my certified copy yet, so I am still. And you look at the FCC site, and they're like, "Last step, if you can't get through, just call us." Oh my God, could you imagine?
Yeah.
The FCC? So I feel this guy's pain about it. It should take a 40-year-old tech-savvy man a week to get a copy of their ham
radio. It's a bad website.
Bro, I'm at like 2.5 weeks right now.
It's a bad website. Totally agree.
I mean, I'm glad they're spending the resources and upgrading our FTCs, our tower controls, please spend your money wisely and do that and get them upgraded to this century. But next, can we please touch their website? It's just, it's god awful. Okay, this is my what am it for this week.
What am it?
I know what. So James KH2SR put together this whole module, and it says bringing together your favorite ham radio resources into a single device that fits anywhere in your ham shack and can even join you in the field. Josh, I thought you might know something about this, but
I don't. He didn't send any. I didn't see anything on his website, but okay.
So let me scroll into this.
Yeah, a little console.
It's got like a dashboard network, DX cluster, APRS.
That's cool.
Something I can't read, cloud, propagation, settings, and weather. So this little module looks like everybody. It looks like you can probably touch screen this and go further in the menus. Like if you touch this DX cluster over here to the right, boom.
It's probably a Raspberry Pi behind that or something.
Probably, yeah.
It looks like it's scraping the internet, is what I'm guessing. Yeah. It's an internet scraper for those things.
But you don't have to have 16 tabs open on your tablet to do all of this stuff. It's just in your hands.
Yeah.
So I think that this has got some very, very good potential, maybe even on your POTAs or what have you. But
kind of cool.
And I didn't click on the link to see what all it was about, because that took research, and I don't like to research. That's like somebody else's job. You just tell me how the final product works and I'll talk about it. But it looks very interesting, and I don't even know if James made this or if he's promoting it as well.
He's in the chat.
Oh my god!
James,
that's so cool.
I love when that happens. That's cool.
So James, maybe we'll have to have you on to talk about this module.
And we should have James on, maybe his dad too, to talk about some of this stuff, because they make cool stuff.
Yeah, and so quirky
QRP.
ham radios. QRP. You've done it again. Okay, I think this is hopefully my last one. I know I've gone on forever. I told you there's so much today. I'm only 5 days in. Okay, I think I suggest everyone learn to ham radio, and maybe after you learn, you put that equipment in a sturdiest Faraday cage you and your neighbors can scrounge together. Why does it take your neighbors to do this too? But you
got to find a metal garbage can first,
right?
I just love that, like the concept of just you and your neighbors get together and just make a couple of Faraday cages, just a thing you do on the weekend. Like
and where do you store
it? It takes a decent amount of metal and like an actual thought out process. Like it has to be electrically sealed, 100% electrically sealed to qualify as a Faraday cage.
Like a community shed out in the alley.
You don't go like, hey Bob, I got some leftover chicken wire. Why don't we wrap this into around a piñata and see what we get? Like no, there's way more that goes into it than that.
Yeah, when you and Earl next door got a couple of brats on the grill, just throw a Faraday cage together while you're waiting for them brats to.
Got an old Weber. We're gonna wrap it.
It definitely sounds like it was a 6-pack in over the grill, where he was like, "You know what we should do, Bob? Is
Faraday party."
Mm-hmm. And our wives will totally go for it.
Yeah. We'll decoupage it.
We'll make it look like a she shed where it's really nice and pretty, and we'll have all of our stuff in it. Okay,
she won't know it's a Faraday cage.
Right.
Learn something new every day.
There you go.
There were some real gems this last 2 weeks. Funny. So I'm going to have to dig and keep building in 2 weeks from now. So
I have to get a metal garbage can and throw all my Baofangs in there.
There you go.
Please. And then you hope that the trash guy actually comes and picks it up. That's illegal. You can't put electronics in the trunk.
That's e-waste, Amanda. Maybe it's not a Faraday cage. It's an e-waste container is really what it comes down to, depending on how you look at it.
Well, you can put your VHS tape machine in there and an old TV set, so you have something to do
your CRT.
after the big one hits.
All right. Well, that's the end of Ham It, Can It, or What Am It tonight. Some real doozies. Thanks for all the people that didn't know that they contributed to our segment tonight.
Those are great.
I now know that they did, James. So, okay, that brings us to the end of the show, so I'm just going to mention our nets. We've got Tom on the round 7192. I don't know if I've seen him in chat tonight. And Paul is definitely running D-Star Net on 14 Charlie. So join us again in 2 weeks. I don't know what our show's going to be about yet. We'll put it together. We'll see what happens. And everyone that's going to Huntsville will have a fun, safe time. I know you will. Be sure to find those YouTubers, including Josh, and tell them how much you appreciate all of their shows and how much you get out of them. Even if you don't, just
tell me that. Just lie
bit.
to me. Lie to my face.
Josh likes that.
And then get out of the way. Shooting.
I love it. I love it.
And find Don. I think he's going to still have some Ham Nation stickers he can give out.
Nice.
I reposted an old picture, and I've actually mailed several of those out here lately. So
really, that's
if,
fantastic.
Kind of cool.
I may have time to try and whip something up before then. Do you have the original sticker design for that, Dawn?
I do.
Can you? Oh, you could make some more. Oh, okay, we can talk after. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're done. 7-3, everybody. Thank you to Carson and Drew again, and congratulations, Carson.
Great job.
I have to say, Ham Radio Future is in good hands, everybody. I'm not worried about it. It's going to expand and do a whole lot more than we could have ever imagined it's going to be. So with kiddos and youth like that. So all right, 7-3, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Good night.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody.